Hey techies, welcome back to kaetalkstech. I'm Kay, let's talk tech. So this is going to be a continuation of the H1B visa because I didn't really get to say everything I wanted to say. And I could make a longer video and put it on YouTube, but I want to be able to use the video on both channels. So I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes. So, the H1B, it's not a good program because it is, well, actually, it's not that it's a bad program, it's that it has been abused and it's outdated. So, in the first video, I talked about what it's supposed to be, what happens in practice, and why it needs to end. In this video, I'm going to talk about what we can do. See, there's things that you can do individually, and there's things you can do as a collective. So the individual things are geared more towards you getting work in spite of the H1B, because the H1B is not the only thing that is working against Americans in the job market, but it is a big thing for a techie. The other thing is companies trying to look like they're more profitable than they really are. They're putting fake jobs out there. They post a job, they repost a job. Even though a repost of a job doesn't necessarily mean it was a fake job. I mean, whoever they hired may not have worked out, but it can be. Then there's the recruiting scams. There's the ghosting. There's a lot of shenanigans going on. What really is a problem is the pushing down of salaries. They refuse to hire anybody who's really truly a senior level person. So those people have to take jobs that are 2 or more rungs below where they should be for the skill set that they have. And their skill set actually matches the job description because they're putting out the same skill set at $50,000 a year or more, less than it used to be. So they're refusing to pay the money, and then that means entry-level people can't get in because there's no space for them. And then you have the pressures of AI as well. AI really hasn't worked out as much as companies would like to, but it will because they're working on it, and they will keep going until they get it. I just want to mention real quick, I was watching this video. I never knew this before. I found out that in mining towns, not all of them, but some of them, the company would come in, set up the mine, hire workers, set up a general store, and then they didn't even pay the people in money. They paid them in a script. And SCRIP, you can look up what that means, just so you can see I'm not making this up. It was a piece of paper. It was a voucher that you could use at the general store that belonged to the company. But there's no other stores in the area. So, but even if there was, you couldn't buy anything. So now the company is just moving their own money around, and you never are able to save up enough money to move someplace else because you didn't get paid in money. So the point I'm making is that corporations are greedy. They always have been, they always will be, and they will only do as much as they're legislated to do. So people, we have got to change the laws. We have got to change the rules, and that's up to us. I think any company that makes over $50 million in revenue should have a minimum tax of 20%. No deductions. You are going to pay at least 20% in your taxes. If you or I become a millionaire tomorrow, we have to pay 50% in taxes. So that company needs to pay 20% with no deductions, minimum. Okay? I also think that these companies that are too big to fail, you recall what happened in 2008 housing crisis and how the government bailed out these companies, and the bailout was supposed to allow them to support American citizens with jobs, and they put their money in their pockets and kept on booking, buying back their own stock. What should have been done is to give vouchers to the people who were in danger of losing their homes so that they could pay the mortgage with those vouchers, and then you hit 2 birds with the same stone. But no, the companies were trusted, and they showed that they cannot be trusted. So we need a new list of too big to fail, because I think some tech companies are on that list now. And if you're classified as too big to fail, you cannot outsource to a foreign company, period. And you cannot outsource to an American company with a foreign parent, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the same thing as a foreign company. And you cannot bring any H1Bs in. Okay? H1B program has to be done just because of the abuse. If you need some specialized talents not available here, then there should be some other program for you to look at. Or if I don't even want the H1B program to stay around, but if it has to stay around, it should be reduced to maybe 1,000 applications per year. But if you keep it around and you reduce it, then the next people decide, oh, the corporations need this. You know, I'm being tough on corporations because they're doing all these layoffs. All these people are out of money. They're living in tent cities, and the companies are still making a lot of money. Their shareholders are happy, so they don't care. It's profit, 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 profit without a heart. There's no emotional intelligence here. And I'm not saying that's every company, because some companies give good benefits and they treat their people well, but a lot of them are just really greedy and they don't. Okay? So we have to legislate them. If you're too big to fail, your CEO, as a matter of fact, your C-suite and your board of directors have to be natural-born American citizens, just like the president. Okay? Because I see too many foreigners taking over those CEO positions and being totally just no allegiance to this country whatsoever. I really truly believe they are trying deliberately to redistribute the wealth of this country, but whether they are or not, that's what they've done de facto. If you shut down jobs in America and you reopen them elsewhere, and you lay those people off in America, now you reopen the jobs in other countries as a cost-saving measure when you're having a historical valuation of your country, that is just a shift of resources. That is not, oh, we have financial problems, we need to do something here. I think Americans might end up unionizing. And I know companies hate to hear that, but, we as citizens have to band together long enough to ignore all the BS we've all been fed, because we've all been lied to. Black people, white people, purple people, Asian people, Latinos, we've all been lied to. We've all been taken advantage of. And we have to band together long enough to stop this madness. I'm just looking to the left because I had some notes here and I want to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Oh, you know what else you can do? Close your wallet. They hear that. Close your wallet. Those companies that you supported that are now sending all of your jobs overseas or bringing in cheaper labor to work those jobs, don't buy their products. I bet you we made an example of a couple of them. They changed voluntarily. Then when they do the work to find the talents in America so they can say, oh, we couldn't find anybody, don't let them be the ones to do that. Let the Department of Labor do it. Let the Department of Labor say, okay, you can go ahead because these talents are not available in the country. Okay, that will put an end to that. Reclassified tech. Tech is not a specialized industry anymore, and H1Bs are for specialized industries. So reclassify it. Tech is part of every single company now. And if they outsource to foreign companies anyway, make it a tax penalty, because you can't really stop people from running their business the way they want to run it to an extent. But you could tax them, and then train Americans. Developers, QA, data analysts, software specialists can all be trained in 3 months. I guarantee you I can train any one of those in 3 months. Okay, that's it. The video's almost over, almost out of time. Like the video, share the video, follow the channel, go to kaetalkstech.com/contact and contact me for coaching or anything else you need, and come back here again and let's talk tech. Bye.